How was your exam? It was the easiest, right? I think it was the easiest exam we've ever done. It wasn't that tricky. Yeah, so
What was the average grade?
I think it was like 80 something. So the first person had like almost all of it. So um, I think the first person had like 90 something, 97. So it was fair. So you need to work on the next exam, which is after like 3 weeks, the last exam, and then the final. So the solutions are there, so you can check the solutions. If you have any issue, then you can let me know. Okay, so
Did you say something in the beginning of the semester, you're gonna like replace, like one of our test grades gets used twice? Did you say that right?
did I say? I don't even remember. But what I know is, if let's say you can read the syllabus, I think most of the information are there.
Okay.
If you have like, let's say you guys are failing, that's what I did in exam one. Then you can select some of the questions and then give you, and then you redo them. But I don't think I can do this for this exam because I already posted the solutions. And most of you guys were okay with it. So you just review the solution manual. If you have any issue, then you can let me know. Yeah, so we will get some time, and then I think the last week of the semester, it's more of the review. I think the last 3 days before we go for the spring break is the review. So review is where we review exam one, exam two, and exam three, and then well, we see what might be coming in our finals. So remember, the finals is the first day of exam week, which is on Monday. It's around 3 p.m. to 5.
Oh, is it night?
Yeah?
It's not the class time, it's at night.
It's at 3 p.m.
I see.
Yeah. 3 to 5 p.m. So, and you'll just be doing it at home.
I know.
Yeah. So the moment we go for the spring break, I don't think we are coming back. Yeah, so you have any question you can ask? Not, then we can do section 8.2.
Did you do, yeah, you said you're supposed to.
Yeah, I already posted this. Okay, so section 2, section 8.2. So we're going to look at the product property of the radicals. So the product property of the radical. Now, if the root of if the nth root of, let's say, A and nth root of B are real numbers. These ones are real numbers. And if n, and where n is greater or equals to 2, there is an integer then the nth root of k b, which is the same as a multiply b, is similar to the nth root of a, the nth root of b. So it is similar to the nth root of a multiplied by the nth root of b. Also, the nth root of a multiplied by the nth root of b is similar to the nth root of a b. Nth root of a. So that is the product property of the nth roots. The product property and roots. Product property of n roots. Now, example number 1. So example. Simplify the square root of C11. Simplify the square root of C raised to 11. So how are we going to simplify this? So we write it in the form where it can be simplified. Okay. So we write it in like the product property over there. So we can say the square root of C raised to 11 can be the same as the square root of C raised to 10 multiplied by C raised to 1. C raised to 1. Okay. So it is similar to this. So the powers are added. So the base is the same. So you can add the powers. So it becomes similar. And this is equals to what? Using the product property is similar to the square root of 10 multiplied C raised to 10. So C raised to 10 multiplied by the square root of C raised to 1. So it is similar to this. Now we know the square root is similar to C 1 over 1 raised to 1 over 10 or 1 over 2, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, this is equals to C raised to 10 raised to 1 over 2, the square root of 1, the square root of C. And finally, this is the same as well. So what did you say?
Right?
Huh?
DC to the fifth, right?
What's that? Yeah. So when you cancel this and this, it becomes what?
5.
5. So, and then you say if it is a square root, then if this one is even, if n is even, so what do we put here? The absolute value, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, what we get is the absolute value of C raised to 5. And then the square root of what? C, the square root of C.
So where do you get the 1/2 from? Because n equals 1.
So if it is the square root here, so I say, if let's say this is like this one, a raised to n, a raised to n. This is similar to a raised to 1 over. Yeah. So if this is the square, the square root is what? 2, right? N is 2. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So e raised to 1 over 2. And then it will be like that. So if this one is even, then you need to put the absolute value. Okay, example number 2. Simplify the cube root of negative 128. Simplify the cube root of negative 128. So how should we simplify this? So we can write this one as well. This is similar to the cube root of what? Negative 1, the cube root of, sorry. So this is similar to the cube root of negative 1 multiplied by what? 120. Okay. And this is equals to the cube root of negative 1, the cube root of 128. The cube root of 128. So we need to look for the factors of 128. So what are the factors of 128? So 128, how many 2's are there? 2 for what? 61. 64, right? 2 for 32. 2 for 16. 2 for 2 for 4. 2 for 2. How many 2's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So there are 7 of them. So it is equal to the cube root of negative 1, the cube root of 2 raised to 1. 7. And we can write this one again as the cube root of negative 1, the cube root of 2 raised to 6 times what? 2 raised to 1. 1. 2 raised to 6 times 2 raised to 1. So what is the cube root of negative 1? What is the cube root of negative 1?
Would it be?
It is negative 1, right? Because negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is what? Is negative 1. So the cube root of negative 1 is negative 1. So it is equals to negative, let's say 1 there. Then the next one is similar to, so there is a cube root. The cube root of what? 2 raised to 6. The cube root of 2. Cube root of 2. So basically, this is equals to 1. 2 raised to 6 times what? 1 over 3, right? Because that one is a cube. And then the cube root of 2. You cannot simplify this one further. Yeah. So this is equals to negative what? 2 raised to what? 2 raised to 2. The cube root of 2. And this is equals to negative 4. The cube root of what? 2. The cube root of 2. For example, the cube root of is the square root of 416 u raised to 11 all over 484 v raised to 6. For 84, and then that one. So how should we simplify this? How should we simplify this one? So first of all, you look for the factors of what? Sorry. Oh, the factors of 416, and then you also look for the factors of 484, like that. So let's start from 416. So 416. 2 for 1. 2, 0, 3. 2 for 1, 4, 4. 2 for 50. 52, right? 2 for 21. 6. 2 for 1. 6 for 13, right? 1 thing. Then what are the factors of 484? 484. 2 for 1. 242. 2 for 1, 2, 1. Then we have what? Is it 11? 11 by 11, right? Is 121.
Yes.
11. 11. So now we come here. So we have the square root of how many 2's for 416? So we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then multiply by 13 raised to 1. And then multiply by u raised to 11. All over what? 484 is 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 11 raised to 2 multiplied by v raised to 1 raised to 6. V raised to 6. Now we need to simplify. We need to simplify. So again, we can write this one as the square root of 2 raised to 4 multiplied by 2 raised to 1 multiplied by 13 raised to 1 multiplied by u raised to 1 u raised to 10 multiplied by u raised to 1 all over 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 11 raised to 2 multiplied by v raised to 6. So I'm trying to expand this one in a situation where it can cancel with the what? The roots, the square root. So 2 raised to 4. I reduce this one because the power, if you add this one, it's the same as 2 raised to 5, right? 13 is still remaining the same. And then u raised to 10, and then u raised to 1. So u10, u1 is 11. And then the denominator will be the same. Now, if you distribute the powers, then what do you get? So when you distribute the root there, then looking at this, then 2 raised to 4 will be what? 2, right? When you multiply by 1 over 2, it becomes 2 raised to 2, right? Another one which will cancel there is u, right?
Yeah.
So it will be multiplied by u raised to 5, right? And then the other ones will not do anything. So the square root of what? The square root of 2 multiplied by 13 multiplied by what? Okay, the below one will be what? So the below one will be 2 multiplied by 11 multiplied by what? V raised to what? V raised to. Okay? Is that right?
Mhm.
Then now you simplify. So now you simplify. So these 2 will cancel with that square, right?
Mhm.
Because that one is 4. So 2 and that square will go. U raised to 5 will just remain, and then like that. So basically, finally, what do you get? You get 2 u raised to what? 5. Then the square root of what? 20 what? 26 u all over 11 raised to 3. Okay? Because 2 multiplied by 13 is what? 26.
Mhm.
And then 2 is, and 2 and 5, u raised to 5. So 2 raised u raised to 5 times 26 u. 11 is remaining. 11 times what? V raised to 3. Okay. So you need to use all these steps until you get the correct answer. So don't jump any single step, because if you do it, you will mess it up. So the first thing to do is you make sure you simplify. So you make sure you simplify. So you make sure you get the factors.
So do you only ever like expand the top one?
Expand the what?
Like on the last problem we did? We just expanded the top part and not the bottom part. See what I'm saying?
You mean we expanded?
Yeah, we only expanded like 2 to the 5th, 13 to the 1, like on the step below. We didn't do anything to the bottom part.
Yeah, because the powers here are even.
Or even, so it's only when it's on.
Yeah, if it's odd, then you need to look for an even. You need basically you need to, if it depends with the power.
Uh-huh.
So if the power here is 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you need to change this one to the one which you can be able to divide by 3. Okay. So if this here is cube, then what you need to do here, it will be 2 raised to 3 times 2 raised to what? 2. Yes. And then here will still remain. And then for this one, it will be u raised to what? 9. And then u raised to 2.
Okay.
And then this one will not change. This will not change. This one will still remain the same. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you simplify. Okay. Another example. The cube root of 625 u raised to 5 all over v raised to 12. Cube root of 625 u raised to 5 v raised to 12. So how do we simplify? So we can write this as well. So 625 is what? 625 is 5 for what? 125, right? And then 5 for what? And then, so we have how many 5s? Huh? Is it 4?
Yes.
5 raised to 4. So the cube root of, so this is equals to 5 raised to 4, and then u raised to 5, all over v raised to 12. V raised to 12. Then since this one is a cube, then we need to look for a way of making this one to be divisible by 3. So it is equals to the cube root of 5 raised to 3, and then times 5 raised to 1, times u raised to 3, times u raised to 2, all over v raised to 12. V raised to 12. Then which one is divisible by 3? So it will now be equals to, this is divisible by 3, 5, so it will be 5 multiplied by u, and then the remaining ones will be cube, right? And then 5u squared, right? The ones which are remaining inside. So it will be this 5, this u squared. Then all over v raised to 12 is what? 4. V raised to what? 4. V raised to 4. So finally, this is equals to 5u, the cube root of 5u squared, all over v raised to 4. Quite simple, huh? Yeah. Okay, let's do another example. Square root of 156, then u raised to 40p. So you are given a very big number like that. 156, u raised to 48. So again, you look for the factors of 156. So 156, we have 2 for 78, 78, and then 2 39 for 39, 3 for 13, right? 3 for 13. So this is similar to the square root of 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 13, and then we multiply by u raised to 48. U raised to 48. So when you simplify, then what do you get? So this is equals to 2, right? And then u raised to what? 24. Then the square root of 39. The square root of 39. And this is final. Okay, the 7th is 10 raised to 26 all over 10 raised to 3. 7th root of 10 raised to 26. Then 10 raised to 3. n raised to 3, n raised to 6, n raised to 3. So what should we do here? So since the bases are same, then we can write this as the 7th root over n raised to 26 minus 1 minus 3, right? Because this one is this base and this base are the same. So you just take 3 out. So it is equals to the 7 root of what? N raised to what? 23. And then now you can be able to simplify. So it is equals to the 7th root of n raised to 21 multiplied by what? N raised to what? 2. N raised to 21, n raised to 2. So this is equals to n raised to 3, then the 7th root of what? N squared. N raised to 3 squared. Okay, lastly, simplify c raised to 4 all over c raised to 16. C raised to 4 all over c raised to 16. So what are you getting? So this is similar to the square root of what? C raised to 4 multiplied by what? Minus 16, right? And this is equals to the square root of c raised to minus. So finally, this is equals to c raised to what? Minus 6, which can be written as 1 over c raised to 6. 1 over c raised to 6.
Could you write the, like, as absolute value? Maybe 6.
No.
No.
Yeah. You cannot write this. Since this one is a reciprocal, it will just be 1 over c raised to 6. Because if you put the minus there, then it will be a different thing. Okay, since we have 15 minutes, so let me give you an activity. So, number 1. Simplify simplify the square root of 72 x squared y raised to 6. Simplify. Then you can also simplify this. Number 2, the cube root of 72 x squared y raised to 6.
You want to turn into,
Yeah, you can start it and send it to me.
just email it to you.
Yeah, that's what it is. So let's see one question in your exam before we still have a lot of time. See this question here. So number 1 was fair to, I think, everyone. Number 2, so there is number 2, which you were supposed to get 3 good marks. Number 2B, which was not factorable, right? So that one was 7 free marks. So you are not factorizing. So you just write non-factorable. Okay. Then, so which one was the most difficult? I don't see anything which was difficult.
Can you do the 6?
Number 6. Yeah. Okay, so number 6 says Julie is going to launch a model rocket in her backyard. When she launches the rocket, let me see if I can share this. So, are you able to see that? Oh, you guys are not able to see it.
I can see it through Zoom.
Yeah. So let's say if these guys are seeing this. Okay, so number 6. So Julie is going to launch a model rocket in our backyard. When she launches the rocket, the function h, so the function h equals to -16. Oh, if you realize that one was t squared, I think some of you realize that. I don't know why you did not ask. So t raised to 2. Yeah.
I looked, it was in our notes, and so I just assumed it was.
Yeah, I think it was in our notes. Yeah. So -16. Yeah, I think this question was in our notes, exactly. -16 t squared plus 32 models. Okay, so it says number 1, find the zeros of this function, which tells us when the rocket will hit the ground. So the zeros, when the rocket will hit the ground. So if it hits the ground, then that means this height is what? 0, right? So this h will be 0. So therefore, 0 equals to -16 t squared plus 32. And then what do you get? So I don't know if so. Let's say I can write here. I don't know if someone in Zoom will see this. So it is h equals to what? -16 t squared plus what? Plus 32, right? So this is 0. So 0 equals to -16 t squared plus what?
32.
Plus 32. 32 t, right? 32 t. So you can change the signs here, or you can just factor out. You can just factor out what? -16 or t. And this will be what? T plus what? T minus what?
T minus.
Equals to zeros. So the zeros of this will be what? T equals to 0 and t equals to what? 2. So what do you get? What? So you take 2, t equals to 2. And then for the next one, the time when the rocket will be 16 feet up. So where there is h here, you put what? 16. So 16 equals to -16 t squared plus 32 t. So you can divide everywhere by 16, 16, 16. So 1 equals to -t squared plus what? 2t. then you can take this to the other side. Or you can bring them to this side. So t squared minus 2t plus 1 equals to 0. So what are the factors? T is 1 and minus 1 and minus 1, right? So t squared minus t plus 1 equals to 0. So t minus 1 minus 1 t minus 1. You're getting t equals to what? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. 7 good marks. Very simple.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I think there was a question which most of you, number 8. This number 8, most of you failed.
Really?
Did you get it?
I think 1 to 16?
Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
Those, I don't know if I wrote it, how you wanted it to.
We have 3 minutes. Let's see.
I don't know if I wrote it, how you wanted it to be wrote, or like, just take 80 divided by 25 and times by 5.
So let me stop sharing the screen and then I'll switch on this. And then let's see. Number 9. Sorry, number 9.
Oh, yeah, number 9 was.
So 4 all over what? X minus 2 greater or equals to 3 all over x plus 1. So what was the first step? Put one side to be what?
0.
Zeros. So that means you bring to this other side. Bring this one to this side. So it will be 4 all over x minus 2 minus 3 all over x plus 1 is greater or equals to 0. Right?
Yes.
And then you do what? What is the LCM?
X minus 2, x plus
So
1.
x minus 2, x plus 1. So this is x plus 1 minus 3, x minus 2 is greater or equals to
0.
0. So when you open this bracket, it becomes 4x plus 4 minus 3x plus 6 all over x minus 2, x plus 1 is greater or equals to 0. So the top one will be what? X, right?
Plus 10.
Plus 10 all over x minus 2, x plus 1 is greater or equals to 0. So what is the next step? So it is saying the levels, you look for the levels, right? The ones which is giving you zeros and the ones which are what? Undefined.
Yes.
And the one which is dominating here is the what? The undefined one.
Yes.
Okay? So the undefined one is the one which is dominating. So that means for this one to be undefined, then we have x minus 2 and x plus what? 1. So therefore, our levels will come from x minus 2 equals to 0 and x plus 1 equals to 0, which is x equals to 2 and x equals to minus 1. So now, our plan will be what? Like this. So we have x equals to 2 here, goes like that, and x equals to minus 1, goes like that. So we have our levels, which are what? Here. We will not have our level at x equals to minus 10, because it will not satisfy. It is satisfying, of course, it is satisfying.
Yes.
But is the other one satisfying? So let's see. So we start from, you take anything after minus 1. So when you put minus 1 here, so minus 1 over here, so it will be minus 1 plus 10, which is what? 9, right? So minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. Minus 1 plus 1 is, sorry, is 0. So that one, we are not including one,
Correct.
minus 1. If we put 2, then it will be minus 2, though, sorry. Minus 2 plus 10 is what? 8. Minus 2 is?
-4.
Minus 2 plus 1 is?
-3.
-3. And that one is what? Positive, right?
Yes.
So it is positive, then this side is what?
Yes.
Accepting.
It works.
If we put 0, so 0 plus 10 is 0, right?
It
Is
doesn't-
10.
Doesn't work.
0, so it is no, right?
Next one does.
Yeah, and then the last one is accept. So what is our interval notation? So it will be what? Minus infinity,
Yes.
minus 1, and that is open, union to infinity. And that is our answer. You tried, I gave you some marks because I don't know what you are doing with the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I missed one of the steps up top. I can't remember what, but I got something.
Yeah,
Different.
so I had to give you credit because I saw you got this one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what were you doing with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so see you guys on Friday.
Sweet. All right.
Thank you. See you on Friday.
See you.